Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheridan Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So, Sandra has talked me into going ahead and starting our meat chickens now, as in January. We have never started a batch of meat chickens this early. So we got to get ready for them today. So let's go out and do a little work on the brooders. We'll show you how we set those up. Get ready for some new chicks coming here in about 4 days. Got to get everything ready, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about why we're starting meat chickens this time of year and not during our regular season, which is early spring and summer. So hang out with us for a little bit. Let's talk about some meat chickens. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we want to inspect our brooders and make sure that we're good to go. Make sure the light's working, all that kind of thing. So this is one of our big brooders, and it still has shavings in it left from last year. So we're going to clean that out. Check the lights, make sure the lights work. We will refill with shavings here. Other big brooder, looks like we'd cleaned this one out, so it's ready to go. We'll just need to check the lights, put some shavings in, and then let's look at these two in here. So the way we're going to do this, we've got 100 birds coming. We've got 100 chicks coming. We're going to divide them up because they're probably going to need to stay in these brooders a little longer than we typically leave them. The two big brooders, we'll put 40 and 40, so that'll be 80, be 40 a piece in that. And then on our little brooders in here, we're going to put 10 and 10. So we got 80 outside, 90, and then 100 over here. This one looks good, nice and clean. Looks like we got all the shavings out. We'll need to put some lights in and check them. This one, nice and clean. We got some lights stored in here. We'll put them out, plug them in, and make sure that everything's working on those. So let's go ahead. We'll put shavings in these two. These two are small, quick, easy to do. We'll go ahead and put our shavings in these two. Put some lights in, plug them up, make sure that they work, and see how that's going to go. A little bit concerned because of the time of year. We'll probably end up putting a couple of tarps across the top of these and then weighing those down. We've done that in the past, and it works out beautifully. Those brooders stay nice and warm in there. So let's get to work on putting some shavings in these, checking some lights. Shoo, Lordy, y'all, I got a mess. We're eventually going to try to clean this area up so we can park the sawmill in here, but for right now, it's just junk. So, a couple things. On these shavings, first off, we have found that we can purchase them at a local sawmill that planes their lumber a lot cheaper than we can buy them at Tractor Supply. I think I pay about $3.50 a brick for these. Basically the same size. Another benefit of these, they are actually a little bit smaller in size than what you get at Tractor Supply. Those at Tractor Supply are more of a flake. These are not quite as, well, flaky. And that makes it a little easier for the chicks to stir and kick these things around, and you don't get as much manure packing on top of the shavings. That works out pretty good. Also, if you just need a half a brick, you can do that. You can take your knife, score that thing all the way around, just break it off. You got half a brick, and you still have got them in a bag. Y'all, this is always such a pain in the butt because you don't remember what you done last year. Hey, you had it hooked up where all your cords are at, where your wires are at. Hey, Lordy. And then you look at it and you think, why did I do it that way? I'm sure there was a good reason. Sandra probably done it that way. That's why I can't figure it out. Oh. Boom. Brooder. And real quick, I know we've showed this in the past, but these are our brooders. And these work great for, depending on how many chicks you want to keep in there for how long. We're going to keep 10 chicks in each one, probably for longer than we normally would have. But you could keep 40, maybe even 50 chicks in here for a couple of weeks. Originally, I bought this one and then ended up building this one based on all the measurements and everything off of this one. We do sell copies of the plans, so you can build these yourself at home. Links in the description down below. These work out really nice. Got a flip down lid. We use hardware cloth up there. We got vents on each side and in the rear. Works out really good. Saw a guy that had showed me his brooder, and he actually, I love the idea. He took a piece of, I think it was rebar, like, I don't know, 1/2 inch rebar, and mounted it here over to there, and then he hung his lights and his feeders off of it. So cool mod. So you can do that. Plenty of room in here for a couple lights, plenty of room for feeders, drinkers, and then the chicks have plenty of space. And then these, the lids flip all the way back so that you can get in here with a scoop or a shovel and clean these out whenever you're done. Makes cleaning super easy. Easy to get to, easy access. They are elevated. The lids, you can put a lock on them. I just put a little hook and eye on here. And then I think I did have a predator problem with one of these one time. I think a raccoon got in, but I didn't have a hook and eye. I didn't have it locked down. We do that now. Not had any predator issues in the brooders since that particular incident. So if you'd like a copy of these plans, I'll leave a link in the description down below. You can go down there and check those out. And build yourself a brooder or a couple of brooders. Get yourself started with some chickens this year. All right, this brooder here, apparently we're using it for storage. Got a couple lights in here. Old hay net. Let's get this junk out of the way. Our other half brick of shavings here. So the nice thing about using shavings is as the chicks come in here and poo and stir this up, you'll start to get a little bit of a composting action, and it will provide a little bit of heat coming up from the bottom. Don't need a whole lot of shavings, just a nice thin layer, enough to catch the poo, catch the moisture, keep them dry. Chicks are going to do fine as long as you keep them warm and dry. All right, let's see if that lamp works. Got it plugged in. It's got a bulb in it, I think. Does it work? Hey, this one works. Cool. All right, let's find us another one. Oh, I've got to figure out how we got that thing plugged in too. All right, here's just a light. Do have a couple of bulbs left over from last year. Let's see if this one works. Aha! All right. All right, I know these brooder lamps are a little bit unconventional from what most of you are used to seeing. I get these from a company called Hogslat, and I'll see if I can find a link and put it in the description down below for an Amazon link. If I can't find that, I'll see if I can find a link to Hogslat. These lamps work really nice. They are much deeper than the metal ones that you get at like your normal feed and seed, Tractor Supply, and that kind of thing. The element in these is much more robust. It seems to tolerate the heat from those lamps a whole lot easier. Also, it's nice and deep. So if this thing falls, it's got a cage around the bottom, and it will prevent that light from coming into contact, that lamp from coming into contact with your shavings and catching your brooder and your house or your barn or your shop or whatever on fire. So that's important. I have had these fall. I had one fall out in my big brooder and did not catch it on fire, just had a smoldered spot. So still kind of iffy. Got by pretty lucky on that. But these work great. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description down below. But I like these much better than what you get to feed and seed. All right, same deal on these two big brooders. Of course, we got to clean the other one out. And we'll use an entire brick of shavings on these. These are our bigger brooders. We can keep a whole lot more chicks in here. Well, you know, it depends. How many chickens do you want to keep for how long? But I think we've got plans for these on the website, or I'll leave a link for plans for these as well. These are based off of Joel Salatin's Polyface Designs book. But we started using these year before last. Really like them because we can really increase the number of chicks that we keep at a time. So let's get some shavings in here. And these may require 2 bricks per brooder. Y'all, I'm thrifty as the next guy, but don't be afraid to spend a little money on things like shavings, good lights, and that sort of thing. Infrastructure like that is cheap. Chickens are expensive. All right, there we go. Got this one ready. Now, I'm gonna have to wait on checking the lights. I found an electrical issue off camera. One of my cords has got a bad end on it. And I actually need another bigger gauge extension cord to run down to the barn because we're running 4 lights in this brooder and then 4 in that one over there. And these things are, I think they're 250s. Yep, they're 250s. So they're pulling a lot of juice, and that cord will get hot. So we got to make sure we've got a good, strong industrial strength cord to manage these. So we'll have to get that later. Well, I don't know.
I don't think there was anything missing up, do you?
All right, we replaced the power cord on these and plugged them up, and I've got 3 in this brooder, 3 of the 4 that's working. This one right here, I think just needs a bulb. So what you got there? I think I need to drop that one.
This one right here?
Yeah. Well, both of them actually. Okay. No worky here. So let's get another light. Yeah, boy, she works. Nice. All right, so all 4 of these lights are working, so we're good here. Hard to tell with this light, the sunlight, but they're all working. So we're gonna finish cleaning this out. We'll put shavings in here, and this one will be ready. So in here, we got 3, 1, 2, 3 that work. This one is not, but it doesn't have a bulb in it, so we're gonna put a bulb in it and see if that fixes it. Also, it looks, that filament in there, it looks kind of dark, like it may be burnt out. If it is, we'll chunk it. These, you know, I said I like these better than the ones you get at the feed and seed. And they do work a little bit better, but after a couple of years and the intensity that we use them at, turning them on and leaving them on for months at a time, they will burn out. They've got a life. It just is what it is. Bulb works. Okay. All right, good deal. All right, Newman, let's unplug this stuff. Just unplug it all at the barn. Yeah, just unplug it all at the barn, and then we know we're good to go. Everything works. No sense in burning them up if we don't need to. All right, we got brooder number 2 set up now. We got it all cleaned out. Got fresh shavings in here. We've checked all the lights work. The only thing that's left, of course, is chicks, and then feed and water, and we'll put all that out like the day before they come. There's no sense in getting all that out now. We'll have a couple of barrels here that the feed will go in. Then the water hose comes from the hydrant right there at the corner of the barn, and we'll fill water. So this should work out pretty nice. So like I said earlier, 100 birds coming. We'll do 40 here. We'll do 40 here. That'll give us 80. And then we'll put 10 apiece down here in these small brooders in the barn. And we checked them, got lights, fresh shavings. I got a barrel down here. It was wet, so it's drying out. But we got shavings and all, lights in here, in this one, and over here in this one. And we should be in pretty good shape, ready for these birds. All right, let's go up to the shop, and I'll tell you our philosophy on why we're doing these now, the risk, the reward, and just kind of the whole idea behind doing birds, meat birds, this time of year. All right, there they are. Got the brooders all set up. The only thing left is just putting out feed and water. That won't take but just a few minutes to do, and we'll probably do that the day before the chicks come. They're supposed to be here, like I say, in about 4 days. So we'll do that on day 3 and have everything ready to go. We'll turn the lights on day 3 so that the brooder starts heating up and it's got plenty of warmth in there. One thing I just thought of, on those brooders that are out in the field or out in the yard, you know, they've got kind of the A-frame roof and then the ends are open with hardware cloth. What we may do is go back and, I've done this before, staple some feed bags on the ends of those to create a wind block to keep a little bit more heat in. We've done that in the past and that ends up working out really good, but they should be fine, So why are we starting meat chickens here the 2nd week in January? We usually don't do this for about another month. That's whenever we start them. Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, we're out of chicken. We have sold through all of our whole birds and all of our chicken breasts. We still have a few leg thigh quarters left, but we've seen a real demand in our chicken, our pasture poultry, go up over the past couple of years. As soon as we process a batch of birds, whole birds and breasts get gone really, really quick, and then we're stuck with a few leg thigh quarters, and we got to sell through those. But that's no big deal. It's just that's just part of it. That's the way it goes. So we've seen an increased demand for chicken. Secondly, we're going to be starting our markets towards the end of April, and we want to have plenty of chicken on hand to go into those first couple of weeks with so that we can meet that demand. If we were to wait until February to start, we probably wouldn't be able to have pasture poultry available to our markets until sometime into the middle of May. So we're starting this so that we can get a little bit of a jump start on our markets for the spring. Now, you may say, isn't this a little risky? Yeah, this is probably a little risky. We've never started chickens this early, meat chickens this early in the season. In our experience, meat chickens, Cornish cross, Freedom Ranger color yields do much better in warm weather. They thrive in the heat, and they just do much better in the warm weather. You know, the Cornish, which is what we're getting, the Cornish don't never do feather out very good. They're really splotchy on their feathers. So isn't this risky? Yeah, it's a little bit risky. And if you're just starting in pasture poultry, I probably wouldn't recommend this. This is our 7th year doing chickens, so we've got plenty of experience. I don't know that that's going to mean a hill of beans to us whenever we get into this thing and get started, but we do have some experience. We're comfortable with doing this. We know how to keep chickens warm. We know how to keep water flowing. We know how to protect those birds from the elements and that kind of thing. So we're going to lean on our experience here and see if that doesn't help us be successful with this. It is a bit of a risk reward. There is a bit of risk there. We think that we're mitigating that through our experience, but there's a reward on the backside by having that product ready to go for our customers whenever the market time rolls around. And also, you know, we've started selling a whole lot off farm here, and so that will give us a little bit of product, a little more product for selling off farm here whenever folks are coming up here to buy chicken. So that's kind of the reason, the rationale behind this. We have ordered 100 Cornish cross, again, set to be here in 4 days. We bought those from Hoover Hatchery. I posted a picture on Facebook, if you follow us over there, last week, and folks said, where are you getting your birds from? We're getting them from Hoover Hatchery. That's one of our favorite hatcheries. We've used them now for a number of years. We usually buy our turkeys from them too, but they're supplying the Cornish for us this year, at least on this first batch. We'll see how they go. So I think that's going to do it. You know, it's kind of, you kind of look forward to it and you kind of dread it. The starting of meat chicken sort of signals spring is coming, spring's on the way, and Lord knows we're ready for some spring around here. But it also signals a whole lot of physical labor and a whole lot of work coming up for the year, so we shall see how it goes. But anyway, like I always say, please keep us in your prayers. May God bless you and your families, and we'll see you on the next video.